We were talking in our meeting earlier about whether this is even a topic that can be ventilated. Of course it is, isn't it? Of course, this idea that sometimes the medicine is so uncomfortable to take, but it actually yields something positive. Just enlarge on that point for me, if you would.
Yeah, of course we can do something. We can do something both to reduce the risk of a blackout and also cut some of those very high prices we're seeing. And that's if people are persuaded to not necessarily cut out completely their usage, but to displace it, to move it to another time. And for example, not to switch on their cookers at a peak period, because it's during the peak period that you're seeing the highest prices. During the peak period, you're likely to see the risk of a blackout. So, and this is, asking, ordinary consumers to do this is nothing more than simply getting them to do what companies do. There's unfortunately this horrible jargon, and it's called, these are demand side units, and what that means is you get a number of businesses together. They could do it singly, but usually it's together, and someone coordinates their actions. And on an instruction from, this happens over here in Northern Ireland or in Ireland, an instruction from the grid operator, they reduce their consumption. They might cut it out. They might switch off refrigerators, switch off machines, and they're rewarded for doing that. And that would probably typically take place at times of high demand. So what we could do is something similar, and get, as long as we're rewarded for it.
Yeah, okay. And Jamie, people get that, don't they? And at what point is it sort of, it's almost become, I mean, that we can talk about. No sensitivities around that. People get that. They've got the agency. They get to reduce their usage, perhaps using the monitors we all now have showing us how much energy we're using. At what point does it become bad manners, as I think it almost has done, for an energy provider? And a couple of them fell into this tiger trap in the early days, and they said, well, come the winter, maybe put an extra pullover on, put an extra sweater on, turn the central heating down. And they was yelled down. Of course they were yelled down by people saying, people will die this winter. This is you're being frivolous. We get all that. Of course we get all that. But actually, there surely is something about changing behaviour which yields results, positive results for the planet, because we are reducing our energy consumption. We don't want to do it. It's costing us a fortune. But you see the distinction that somehow this conversation has been circumscribed, and saying something about certain things, put a jumper on, has become impossible.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't think it has to be framed in terms of a hair shirt policy. I mean, you can incentivize people. Companies are incentivized to do it, as I was saying, and consumers likewise. I mean, there has been an experiment conducted by National Grid and Octopus, which involved something like 100,000 people. Took place in February and March earlier this year, and it was incentivizing people to reduce their using during certain windows, 2-hour windows. And I haven't seen the results of that. I don't know where they're published. I haven't seen the results, but that will inform sort of the powers that be as to whether really you can do these things at scale. Because it's really no good if you, Colin, and me, Jamie, switch off in the spirit of trying to help the environment. Switch off our cooker at a particular time. A lot of people have got to do it, and the only way I think you're going to see that happening is because they get some financial incentive.
Yes,
and that's
they've got to get money back. Got it. You appeal to people's financial self-interest. We've got about 45 seconds left, Jamie. Will there be power blackouts in the UK this winter?
Well, we have to see that being a possibility. Where there are problems in Norway, that people are in Norway as a supplier to us of electricity. The French nuclear fleet is having problems. So there always is the possibility. And I mean, I think we have to prepare for the possibility of it. Probably it won't happen, but look, my guess is as good as anybody else's. I think that if it's well enough managed and we take enough precautions and we do enough sensible things, we can sidestep forced blackouts.